repeat after me song.
This is a repeat after me song.
40 years on an iceberg.
40 years on an iceberg.
Bumping along in the tides.
Bumping along in the tides.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to do but slide.
Nothing to do but slide.
The air was cold and icy.
The air was cold and icy.
The wind was beginning to bite.
The wind was beginning to bite.
I think I will go out.
I think I will go out.
And high five 4 polar bears tonight. 40 years on an iceberg.
40 years on an iceberg.
Bumping along in the tides.
Bumping along in the tides.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to do but slide.
Nothing to do but slide.
The air was cold and icy.
The air was cold and icy.
The wind was beginning to bite.
The wind was beginning to bite.
I think I will go out.
I think I will go out.
And fist bump 3 polar bears tonight. 40 years on an iceberg.
40 years on an iceberg.
Bumping along in the tides.
Bumping along in the tides.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to do but slide.
Nothing to do but slide.
The air was cold and icy.
The air was cold and icy.
The wind was beginning to bite.
The wind was beginning to bite.
I think I will go out.
I think I will go out.
And foot 5 2 polar bears tonight. 40 years on an iceberg.
40 years on an iceberg.
Bumping along in the tides.
Bumping along in the tides.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to wear but pajamas.
Nothing to do but slide.
Nothing to do but slide.
The air was cold and icy.
The air was cold and icy.
The wind was beginning to bite.
The wind was beginning to bite.
I think I will go out.
I think I will go out.
And hug 1 polar bear tonight. 40.
Wake up.
Hello, Girl Scout sisters. Happy Sunday and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager Zoom with an Expert event. My name is Avocado, and I'm here with my Girl Scout troop from Northern California. We are thrilled you decided to spend your Sunday with us to share Girl Scout sisterhood, spirit, and friendship as we satisfy all 5 badge steps of the Cadet Budget Manager badge. As we move through this session, be sure to have your budget manager notes and questions print out with you, and a pencil or pen nearby, so you can capture any notes or questions you may have. We will have a time for questions at the end of the session. During COVID, our troops started the Zoom with an Expert series, offering badge events to Girl Scouts all around the world. We offered dozens of badges, allowing girls to stay engaged in scouting throughout COVID and beyond. After a little hiatus, we're thrilled to reintroduce the series. We are starting the Cadet Budget Manager badge, and we hope to continue with more financial literacy badges, as well as other options as well. Like all Girl Scout badges, the Cadet Budget Manager has 5 steps, and there are 3 options to each step. Today, with the help of our expert, we will satisfy all 5 steps. Step number 1 is find out how your budget reflects your values. Step number 2 is learn how to track your spending. Step number 3, find ways to earn money for yourself and your troop. Step number 4, explore how to make money decisions. And step number 5, set a goal for how you'll give back. When you've earned this badge, you'll be able to make informed money decisions that reflect your values and know how to track your spending. When you've earned this badge, I'm really looking forward to learning and having a great time. I hope you are too. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my friend, Candyland, who's going to share a Girl Scout tradition with you.
Thank you, Avocado. Hello, Girl Scout sisters. Welcome to our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event. My name is Candyland, and I'm so excited to spend the next hour or so with you, learning all about budgeting and completing the Cadet Budget Manager badge. In true Girl Scout tradition and fashion, we're going to start with the Girl Scout promise and law. Let's do it together. Please join me and raise your right hand if you will. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do. And to respect myself and others, respect authorities, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. That was great. Thank you for joining me. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my friend and Girl Scout sister Papaya, who has another tradition to share with you.
Thank you, Candyland. Welcome to our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event. My name is Papaya, and I'm so excited to spend the next hour or so with you, learning all about budgeting and completing the Cadet Budget Manager badge. I have the great honor of leading you through the Pledge of Allegiance. Please see the flag on the screen. So please put your right hand over your heart and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That was great. Thank you for joining me. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my friend and Girl Scout sister, Pineapple.
Thank you, Papaya. Welcome to our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event. My name is Pineapple California, and I'm so excited to spend the next hour or so with you, learning all about budgeting and completing the Cadet Budget Manager badge. It's my job to go over the rules for our event today. Most of the rules are found in the Girl Scout Promise and Law we just recited. Please respect yourself and others during this session, and everyone should have a great time. Rule 1 is to have an adult with you the entire time. You should not be participating in this event without a safe adult nearby. Rule 2 is to please use the Zoom chat feature if you have any questions. If you have a question about the event, you may send a direct message to any of us Girl Scouts who are hosting this event. As a hint, if you need to send a message to a host, select one who is not presenting so we can get back to you in a more reasonable time frame. Rule 3 is to please put your Zoom on speaker mode. This is important. It will allow you to better see the instruction during the event. You should do that now. Rule 4 is to get to know your reaction buttons. We will ask you for a thumbs up during several parts of the session. Using your reaction buttons, show me your thumbs up. Also, we will ask you to use your raised hand function if you need us to slow down. Using your reaction buttons, show me your raised hand. Rule 5 is to please change your Zoom name to your camp name plus your state. For example, my name is Pineapple California. If you don't have a camp name, you can also use your favorite candy. For example, I could also be Skittles, California. This is to protect your privacy. You can go ahead and do that now. Rule 6 is to let your family and anyone in your house know when you have your Zoom video on. This event will be recorded and we will be taking pictures and screenshots. If you do not want your picture shared, please turn off your Zoom camera. Rule 7 is you may leave to use the restroom if you need to. You do not need to ask permission. Rule 8 is to learn a lot and have fun. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my friend and Girl Scout sister, Chupacabra.
Thank you, Pineapple. Welcome to our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event. My name is Chupacabra California, since we've all changed our screen names to protect our privacy. I'm so excited to spend the next hour or so with you, learning all about budgeting and completing the Cadet Budget Manager badge. In addition to learning all about the Cadet Budget Manager badge, we are going to talk about college. As cadets, you are in 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. That is junior high school, which precedes high school. For some of you, you are 7 years away from going to college. For others, you are only 5 years away from college. College can be expensive, and most families have to pay for much of the cost. Our expert is going to discuss budgeting for college and things you and your family could think about or even start doing now to make paying for college a little bit easier later. For me, I'm only 1.5 years away from going to college, and this topic has been on my mind for some time. I wish that someone started to talk to me about this when I was a cadet. So again, be sure to have your budget manager notes printed with you so you can take good notes. Write down your questions so we can best help you earn this important badge. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my friend and Girl Scout sister, Coconut.
Thank you, Chupacabra. Hi, cadets. Welcome to our Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event. I understand that there are some soon to bridge juniors here too. Hello to you as well. My name is Coconut, California, and I'm so excited to spend the next hour or so with you, learning all about budgeting and completing the Cadet Budget Manager badge. I get the great honor of introducing our expert to you today. Here with us today is Mr. Greg Knight, CFP, Certified Financial Planner. Mr. Greg has kindly offered to lead us through the Cadet Budget Manager steps, helping us all learn a little bit more about budgeting while we earn the Cadet Budget Manager badge. Mr. Greg graduated from Thomas Edison State University and then also went to Florida State University to get his certification to become a certified financial planner. This is a rigorous 2-year program. In addition to financial planning, Mr. Greg helps families with their financial planning and budget so that they can save for their children's college costs. When he is not financial planning, Mr. Greg loves to travel, cook gourmet foods, and hike. We are so lucky that he has agreed to spend his Sunday morning with us. Welcome, Mr. Greg.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Coconut, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today. And yes, I'm a certified financial planner. And what that means is that I'm lucky enough that I get to help families match their resources to reach their dreams and goals. So it's an incredible job. I love doing it. I will put in a plug for all of you who are undecided about your future career. We only have about 23 to 24% female representation in this field with this certification. So if you enjoy working with families, you enjoy working with money, I highly encourage you to pursue this line of work. It would be great to have you as colleagues in the future. I love working with people and helping them reach their goals, and hopefully today that's exactly what we're going to do, is to get you through your budget manager badge. So let's get going. And as already mentioned, be sure to send questions to my co-hosts, and I will also be looking down quite a bit because I have a tremendous amount of notes and it's impossible for live action to memorize everything word for word. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to tackle step 1, and that's the very first handout that you should have, is how your budget reflects your values. So please find this printout and feel free to go ahead and start taking notes and filling it out as we go along. All right, so step 1 is all about finding out how your budget reflects your values. Your budget is more than just a way to track your money. Your spending habits reflect what you value. If an active lifestyle is important to you, you may want to budget for a bike or for running shoes, for example. Or if your troop wants to save for a hiking adventure, you may choose to use your Girl Scout cookie earnings to plan a trip. So if you value socially responsible businesses, that's where you want to spend your money. And when you know what you value, it becomes clear where to invest your time, energy, and your precious resources. So the message here, the overarching message, is spend with intention. Make sure that that money going out of your budget is going where you want it to go. As always, as mentioned, there are 3 options to satisfy the requirements for this step, and we're going to explore option 2, make your own values list. All right, your badge requirements read, make your own values list and decide where you'd like to spend, save, or share. Maybe there's a purchase you want or need to make, a charity you'd like to donate to, or a troop trip you want to help save for. So group your list into categories. Your categories are going to be must-have, nice but not necessary, and not really important. So see your core values and values that impact spending habits in your handouts for inspiration, and come up with 4 of your top values when it comes to money. So do your spend, save, and share goals align with your values? Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. All right, before we dive into the step, let's review the concept of spend, save, and share. So whenever you work on a budget, you group your money into money decisions into 3 categories. So you're going to have, your first category is spend, and this is for things that you want or need to buy right now that you need to have. And your next category is going to be save. So you're going to save money for things that you'll need or want in the future. And your last one is share. and this one's kind of near and dear to me, but share for money to help others, for donating to a charity or buying school supplies for children at a shelter, for example. So in financial planning, when I start working with families who are having troubles or struggling with their money flow, their cash flow every month, we use a budget concept called the 50-30-20 golden rule. So it's almost identical to your breakdown, but just with a slight difference. So 50% of their income goes to things they need immediately. So for example, mortgage or rent, health insurance, food, those basic necessities that must be paid every month. So 50% goes to that. And then 30% goes to their lifestyle needs, things that they want or would like to buy right now that are extras. And then 20% goes to saving for their future. So saving and investing for other goals and saving and investing for retirement in the future. So you can think of that with your breakdown for your spend, save, share. If you want to create a percentage allocation, that's good. If you want to break it into even thirds, that's great as well. So it's up to you. All right, so are you finishing up? And if so, let's talk about values that impact spending habits. So our beliefs and our attitudes about spending and investing can make a huge difference in our financial planning. So what's important to you and what do you believe in? That's what you should start with. For example, if you see there, it says values that impact spending habits. We've got a few that we can take a look at. And the first one is shop locally. Then we have support minority-owned businesses, buy environmentally responsible products, reduce unnecessary consumption. That's a way to save right there. It's just reducing what you consume. Investing in socially responsible companies. So this could align with your values. Spend only what you can afford. That one's really important. You don't want to overspend and end up in debt. And plan to build wealth. So if you at least have a plan in place and you're tackling that, that's fantastic. Always track your finances. This is very important and it will show up a little bit later as well in one of our exercises. You need to know what's coming in and what's going out. So always track your finances. And budget to live debt-free. If you're living debt-free, you have less stress and it provides a better quality of life for you in all aspects. Build an emergency fund. Emergency fund is money that you have strictly on hand for emergencies that you don't touch. It's one of the key building blocks of wealth. And then set aside money for sharing, so some to give back. That's also very important. Sharing is caring, as they say, and it will also give you a sense of accomplishment and some pride, and just it feels good to share with others. Okay. All right, so those are a few values that impact spending habits. Can you think of any others? So I will give you a couple of minutes here. If you can think of some others, please send those to Avocado, California, the co-host in the chat box, and she can read them out to us. So while you're doing that, does anyone have a joke?
I have a joke.
Go.
Why did the woman put her money in her freezer?
Ooh, it's a good one. Does it have anything to do with cold cash?
Yep.
Oh, it does?
It's because she wanted some cold hard cash.
Very good one. I like that one. Cold hard cash. We love it. All right.
Do you need another joke?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Where did the frog put his money?
A frog?
Yeah.
That one's got me stumped.
It's in the riverbank.
Oh, of course. Of course. It's in the riverbank. Excellent. Avocado, let's check in with you. Do you have a couple, any additional values that came in?
I do not.
Oh,
not
wow.
had any chats yet.
All right. Well, we'll keep going. But remember, this is interactive, so I need you guys to all participate as well. Okay. So if you like the list that's already in the values that impact spending habits in your handout, that's great. And if you want to add to it later, you can do that. Once your list is done, please share your list with family and friends and talk about your values and how you'd like to use your money. So that's important too. Let people know what's going on and share that with friends and family. It can be an interesting conversation. Okay, So we're going to move on to step 2, and that's learning how to track your spending. So you should be prepping and pulling out this sheet that says Budget Manager, and then create a tip sheet on how to track your spending. I'm sure you can see I have quite a few notes on this one as well. So, all right. Do you know where your money goes? That's very important. You need to know where your money's going and where it's coming from as well. So by tracking your money, you can start spending wisely. And when you track your spending, you can adjust spending habits, create and stick to a budget, and make sure you're putting money toward your goals. As always, we have 3 options to complete this step, and we're going to explore option 3 this time, create a tip sheet on how to track spending. So you should have pulled this one up or have this one ready. And let's take a look at the badge requirements. Get at least 3 tips from an accountant or financial advisor about the best way to track your spending. Find out how to come up with your goals, identify your spending patterns, and track your progress. Learn how to prevent fraud by regularly tracking your accounts. Put your tips together to share with peers and to show how keeping track of your finances can help your future. Okay, so go ahead and grab your printout. Let's get started with this one. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to hear some really good tips. Do you have any thumbs up out there? Excellent, yay, thank you. All right, so let's do this. So I've got at least 3 tips here, maybe a couple more for you. You start thinking about some tips as well. The first one is very old-fashioned. Write it down. Even if you keep just a small notebook, a little binder, maybe a little journal, something like this will work as well. But just write it down. So you need to know what you have coming in. So start with the total amount you have to work with every month, or maybe every week, if that's how you want to do it. But the total amount of money that you have to work with for the month. So picture that as one big block. Divide it into those categories and set your percentages that you have for spend, save, and share. And you want to start with the total, and then as you spend from each of those categories, just subtract it from that total. Okay. Another tip is to break that amount down into smaller amounts. So let's say, for example, you know that you're going to have $100 this month. And you're like, wow, I've got $100 for the whole month. Keep in mind, a month has almost every month has like 4 weeks, right? So roughly it's $25 a week. So you can take that $25 per week, break that smaller amount down, put it into your categories, and then keep track of what you're spending. Now, for those of you who already have some technology access, and I know that some of you already do, if you already have a phone or even a tablet or laptop, whatever, get permission from your parents first and consider using an app. For example, GoHenry or Mint are good apps to start tracking your personal finances. So get that permission first, and if you are already tech savvy, go ahead and start using something like an app to help you track. Another method, and this one's a little bit old school as well, but still works, is use an envelope system. Pick out 3 or 4 envelopes and put the titles on them as to what it is. Like if you're using the 3 categories, spend, save, and share, you can record how much you've spent from each of those categories, even if your funds are in a checking or savings account and you have to manually adjust it, but you can use an envelope system as well. So it doesn't matter which strategy you use. The important thing is to have a strategy. So pick a strategy. If you come up with one that works really well, that's great. So pick a strategy and use your strategy on an ongoing basis. And then finally, I would recommend that you review your budget regularly. So keep reviewing and keep adjusting as you need to when you go through each week, each month, each year. So you'll want to review and adjust regularly as needed. Okay. All right. I think we are ready to do our next screen share and move on to words to know. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So this list is included in your badge requirement package that was sent out, and you should also have a printout in front of you. If you don't have the printout, go ahead and grab that now or open the screen to look at the words. We're not going to go over the entire sheet, but I do want to pull out 5 words on here that I think relate really well to today's presentation for earning your badge. And they're just also good words to know. And the very first one is budget. I mean, you're here to do your budget manager badge, right? So budget simply is a plan for what you need and how much money you'll need to spend. So this is the foundation of good financial habits, no matter what you're doing in life. People budget, our government budgets, companies budget. If they didn't use a budget, things would go off the rails very quickly. Tied to that in the other column is savings. So money that's not spent and has been set aside to use later. This is also one of the key aspects of building wealth, is having some savings, having some cash on hand. I also like empathy in the first column, kind of in the middle. So when someone understands or can share emotions and feelings of another person, it's always good to have empathy. It's always good to realize, somebody's always going to be a little bit maybe better off or wealthier than us, and somebody's always going to be a little bit less wealthy than us. So we're on kind of a spectrum. And that goes not only with money, but with emotions, people having a good day, whether or not they're having a good day. So just keep in mind that empathy is a great tool, a great emotion to have. Goal, what you plan to do with the money you earn. You guys have goals, right? So you're going on this trip, this upcoming trip, which is fantastic. You have a goal to raise money every year when you do your annual cookie sales. By the way, my favorite is Thin Mint, so please don't get rid of Thin Mint. So goals are good, and it's good to set a goal. So I'm going to give you an acronym, if you know that. And the acronym is SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So when you set a goal, make sure that your goal is very specific. That's the S in the acronym. Make sure that goal is specific to you, and make sure that the goal is measurable. That's the M, measurable, and achievable. A is achievable. And then the R in the acronym of SMART is realistic or relevant. The goal needs to be realistic, but it also needs to be relevant to you. You don't want to have a goal that has no emotional connection. So, and finally, the T in SMART for setting goals is time bound. So you want to put a time limit on your goal, and it gives you a target date to work with, and it also allows you to break that goal down into smaller chunks and work on it over time. All right, so that's SMART. Make sure your goals are SMART. The last one let's cover is value. It's the worth or importance of something. And I just wanted to mention this one because a lot of times we confuse value with cost, and you don't want to confuse value with cost. So value is the worth that something provides to you, and it's the product or item that works for you when we're talking about budgeting and money. So value is not always the most expensive item, but it maybe isn't always the cheapest item either. You really need to evaluate what you're spending your money on and all of the features and options that come with whatever it is that you're looking to purchase at that time. So value in relation to objects, and value in relation to your personal values as well. It's the worth or importance to you. So keep that in mind. It can have some flexible meanings there. Okay. All right, I know we're moving along kind of quickly. So let's go to our next stage. Our next step will be step 3. So we're going to find ways for you and your troop to earn money. Okay. Every budget starts with income. You have to have income, otherwise there's nothing to work with, nothing to budget. So whether from birthday gifts, small businesses, such as lawn mowing, or maybe selling homemade soap that you make, we're going to explore some ways for you and your troop to earn money to meet your goals. And as always, we have 3 options to satisfy the requirement for the step. And we're going to explore option 3 again this time, explore earning opportunities and trends online. So your badge requirements are: come up with 5 possible ways to earn an income right now. Target 1 job or business idea you feel most excited about. Look at related career and earning trends to find out how your job or business goals today match future opportunities. Write 1 or 2 sentences about what you want to do. If it's a small business, who will be your customer? Very important, right? And how will you deliver your product or service? Also important. You've got to get that product to them. So talk to family members and friends about your idea and get feedback to make your plan even better. So a lot of times it's only an idea until we write it down. So that becomes your plan or your goal. And sharing that with other people, you can get additional ideas on how to improve your plan or your approach to make or earn some more money. So With that said, let's go to our materials and let's get our ways for me to make income printout. It should be this one. Now let's fill this out together. So you do need to start putting your thinking caps on there and come up with a few ideas. So you have several spaces you can fill in, and fill in as many as you would like. The more the better, because you might change your mind. All right, so what are some ideas to earn money? Here are some ideas that I see in my neighborhood on an ongoing basis. We always need people to do lawn work or garden work, especially those who are older residents. They tend to need more help. Babysitting. A lot of the families on our street occasionally need to go out and they need somebody to watch the kids. So that's a great option as well. Upping your chores at the house, mother's helper. You can always do extra things around the house. Maybe that'll earn you some points or some extra allowance. So those are just 3 ideas. So I want you guys to take a couple of minutes and come up with a few ideas and see what else you can think of. As you come up with your ideas, in addition to putting them on your sheet, please send them to Pineapple California, our co-host, in the chat box. All right, so let's take a couple minutes to do that. And in the meantime, a couple more jokes.
I have a joke. I got one in the chat, actually.
Oh, go for it.
It is from Crazy Chicken and Wacky Fox. What do you call a bear with no teeth?
A bear with no teeth? Oh, I'm stumped again. I don't know. A senior bear?
A gummy bear.
A gummy bear. Oh, I should have known. It's nice
Yeah.
teeth. Good one. All right. Any others?
I have one.
Yes.
When did it start raining money?
Wait, when did it start raining money?
Yeah.
When did it start raining money? Oh. Does this have something to do with the rainbow?
No.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, so no pot of gold at the end there, huh? I don't know. When did it start raining money?
When there was a change in the weather.
Of course. We forgot the coins, didn't we? So, all right. Those are great. Do we have one more?
I have another joke.
Yes.
Where does Dracula store his money?
This one I think I know. Is it at the blood bank?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yep. He's quite a character, I'm telling you. Okay. All right. Thank you for those. Pineapple. Do we have any luck with ideas?
Yes, we got a couple.
Let's hear them.
Reese's, Florida said you could be a pet walker or like a pet sitter.
Yes.
Chocolate, North Carolina said selling their artwork that they make.
Yes.
Cloud said lemonade stand.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah.
Madison, Georgia said make and sell bracelets or like keychains. Or Cloud said again, sell the bracelets that they make at their swim meets.
Yeah.
Someone said a yard sale, charity event, baking stuff, like baking stuff to sell, more like lemonade stands.
Yep.
Someone said umpiring, like sports games or being a referee. Yeah.
Good. All right. Those are some great ideas. And I'm just going to add a couple more for you. A lot of you are like really smart in one area of school or one subject of school. You could always consider being a tutor for somebody who's in a grade behind you or even in the same grade maybe. So you could earn some cash just teaching something that you're natural at, that you're good at. And along those lines of like the lemonade stand and some of the art projects we heard, consider putting together holiday gift baskets. You could buy, for example, your items at somewhere that's very affordable and then put a premium on the basket just to sell it because you've already done the work of putting it all together for a person. We covered jewelry. Another thing, sometimes when people are on vacation, they may not need full pet care, but maybe you could go in and feed their fish or water their house plants. So those are some things that you might want to consider as well. So take a look at your ideas and circle the top 3 that you like the best, because you might change your mind. And these should be ideas that you want to do and that are possible where you live. Because, for example, let's say you're a resident in the heart of New York City, probably lawn mowing is not going to even be plausible, like you wouldn't be able to. But you could probably do the pet sitting, babysitting, lemonade stand, any of those kind of things. So take your ideas once you have them and write 1 or 2 sentences about what you want to do and put in some details, like what are the details for your business. And right now it can just capture the idea. It doesn't have to be full and complete, but just get that idea, that thought down while it's fresh. And then think about how will you make it happen. So set a timeline to start, research before what you need to do, what you need to know about starting your money-making operation. All right, so when you're done, don't forget to share with family and friends and get some feedback to help improve that plan and maybe work out some of the details that you might have overlooked. Okay, so we did a couple of money jokes already, and I think you are good there. We'll do maybe a few more of those a little bit later as well. But for now, let's move on to the core values. And if this is still in step 3. So let's define what it is. Core values, what you value in life can shape your financial plan. And here are some words to inspire you. So let's define it. The core values are personal ethics or ideals that guide you when making decisions, building relationships, and solving problems. So identifying values that are meaningful to you can help you develop and achieve personal and professional goals as you go through life. And it can also help you find jobs and companies that align with your ideals. So we have a screen share here, and I think you can see this big list of core values. We're not going to go over each and every one, but I am going to pick out a few favorites here. So you guys can take a look at this list and review it again in your free time. But for now, I just want to point out a few that I really like personally. The first one is achievement. It's nice to have a sense of achievement. It's good to set goals and to reach for things. So achievement is, I think, a wonderful core value. And what I call the 3 C's: community, concern for others, and creativity. That all feeds into what you're working on today, your budget manager badge. And also it goes back to those, dividing into those categories of spend, save, and share. So sharing with your community, being creative and finding ways to earn money for yourself and your troop, and showing concern for others, because being just having that concern for others can generate that sense of community and boost your creativity as well. And the concern for others can lead to my next 2, entrepreneurship and environmental stewardship. So that concern for others can apply there as well. And service. I think service is a great core value. Personally, I'm a member of our local Rotary Club, and our motto is service above self. So we work on community projects, both in our local community as well as internationally, in the fields of medicine, water, education, you name it. It's whatever your service project for that particular community is, it can meet their need, and we do that. So service is a big one for me. And the last one I would pick is at the very bottom of this list, and it's honesty, because honesty really is the best policy. If you approach things honestly and treat people honestly, it's going to work out really well for you. So, all right. Do you have others? So what other core values can you think of? So take a couple of seconds here and drop those in the chat and send those to Coconut, California, our co-host, and give her some core values, or even pick one from the list. And if it's important to you, pick that one from the list. We'll just get a read of what your core values are and what's important for you. So take a couple of seconds to do that.
I have a joke.
Oh, cool.
How can you become richer by eating?
How can you become richer by eating?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Eat rich foods?
By eating fortune cookies.
Fortune cookies, of course. That totally works. I didn't even think about that one. All right. Do you have
I have
another?
another joke.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What did the penny say to the other penny?
Oh, are you saved or are you earned?
Hmm?
Did one penny say to the other penny, are you a penny saved or a penny earned?
No, it's
Oh,
let's meet and make some sense.
very good. All right, let's meet and make some sense. I like that one. I should get a list of these afterward. These are good money jokes. So, okay, Coconut, do we have any additional core values that people added or wanted to share?
We do. We have a few.
Okay.
Shark and Maple, California said security.
Yes, good one. Mhm.
Cloud said confidence.
Excellent. Confidence is great.
Chocolate said spend wisely.
Yes. Mhm.
Twig said responsibility, challenging, and leadership.
Good.
Fried chicken said balance.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, balance is great. Yeah.
Kit Kat said I can be smart with my money by being balanced and working hard to get my money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And thing one, thing two, and then the rest of the name I can't read said respect.
Respect. Yes, definitely. Respect. I like all of those. And in addition to working hard, I would, for Kit Kat, I would say, remember to also work smart as well. So that can go hand in glove there. So I love those. Those are great. All right. Okay. Are we ready for step 4? So let's move on and explore how to make money decisions. So this is a good one. So spending money can be daunting. It can actually be a challenge, especially when you're faced with a lot of choices. So there are ways to make informed decisions, and you can comparison shop to find the best prices. You can read customer reviews online and investigate the seller and the product and what the seller's return policy and customer service record is. Those are important to know. And is last year's cheaper model just as good as the current one? Probably is. What are other organizations the seller supports, and are they aligned with your troops' values or your own personal values, I would add. So find ways to make informed spending decisions. And this comes back to spending with intention. So the overarching message here is spend with intention. Make sure when you're giving your money up that you're giving it up to a business or organization that aligns with your values and your goals. So as always, we have 3 options to satisfy the requirement. And this time we're going to explore option 2, seeking out discounts. This is a fun one. This is a shopping activity. So, all right. Your badge requirements read, bargain hunting can be satisfying, especially when you can get good value for your money. Many websites and stores offer discounts, especially around holidays. You might find items reduced during certain times of the year, such as bargains for winter clothes in March, and some stores do price matching, where they match their price with their competitors. Other stores offer discount codes you can get online. Come up with an item you would want to find at least 3 ways you can get at discount. So grab your, you should have your form that says find the cheapest iPhone. So grab that printout, how to find the cheapest iPhone. And we're going to go over some ideas and some topics on how to do that. So just in general, give me a thumbs up if you already have a smartphone. Just, all right, lots of thumbs up. Now, give me a thumbs up if you specifically have an iPhone. Oh, good. All right, we've got a few out there. All right. And then also, how many of you don't have any phone at all yet? Like you haven't picked a phone? Do we have? Let me see. Okay. All right, we've got a few. Good, good, excellent. All right, so it does look like we have a few of you who already have an iPhone and some who don't have a phone yet at all. So we're going to start with an example of how to explore finding the best price you can get on an iPhone. So on your chart, you have your retailers listed above, and I'm going to start actually in the notes section with some of the tips first on things to look for. So first of all, I would recommend that you do a Google search or Bing search, depending on what your browser is. You want to identify who sells the iPhone in the model that you want. So do that search and start there. The next tip is to make sure that you're buying from a trusted retailer. You don't want to buy, at an inappropriate place where you could end up with some problems. So buy from a trusted retailer. The next one, ask for a specific discount. This is one that most people overlook, and a lot of times they assume that the price posted is the price and that's it. So if you are working with the salesperson and you ask them for a specific discount and they say they're not sure if it's available, just ask them in a very nice way, say, could you please just check with your manager and make sure? That's fine to do. And by specific discount, what I mean is ask them, like, do you have a student discount? Do you have a Girl Scout discount? Do you maybe have a discount for families of first responders or for military families? So just be upfront and ask for that discount. A lot of people forget to do that. Shop during major holiday sales. So in the US, we are very accustomed to every holiday, everything goes on sale. Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be pickup trucks and mattresses, and it's also going to be phones, right? So check for this coming holiday weekend or any other holiday like July 4th, Black Friday, Christmas sales. So those are all good times to look. Consider buying that previous year's model. The changes may not have been that dramatic, so you could get the same quality and pay a little bit less. And another one is if your parents or grandparents or somebody has an older iPhone or an older phone in general, ask about a trade-in credit and see if you can get that trade-in credit. So where to go, which retailers? Obviously, the big one that everybody targets, Amazon. Do an Amazon search first, see what's available through Amazon. Visit your actual carrier. So go into, for example, AT&T or Verizon, find out what they're offering. If your parents are, if that's who they use, if that's the phone system they use, the phone service they use, find out about adding a line, because it might be cheaper to just add you on as a line, and maybe the phone could be included or discounted at that with that option. Major electronics stores such as Best Buy, you might want to target one of those and see what they're offering, at least compare them to Amazon or the carrier. And don't forget specialty stores. So for those of you who have Costco memberships or Sam's Club memberships, depending on where you live, don't forget, a lot of times they also offer member specials and will have discounts from time to time. So as you can see, there are a lot of things to consider before making a big purchase or making a multi-month or multi-year commitment, because in addition to the phone, you're going to have money to cover the monthly bill and possibly the data usage. It depends. All right, so after this session, we will send out a blog post for you about how to avoid paying full price for anything. So keep that in mind. Okay, so what about you guys? Do you have any additional discount tips or budgeting helpful hints that I likely missed on when I was filling out my sheet? So if you have those, let's share those now. So I'm going to ask this time that you send them to Candyland, and Candyland can record those, and then we'll read a couple of those out. So in the meantime, do we have another joke ready?
I got a joke in the chat again.
Good.
This is from Mumu NC. Have you heard of the new broom company?
The new broom company? I don't know. Are they a sweeping success?
Close is they're sweeping the nation.
Ah, very good. Put that broom to work. Excellent. I like that one. Okay. Any others?
I have a joke.
Yes.
How did the dinosaur pay his bill at the restaurant?
How did the dinosaur pay his bill at the restaurant? Oh. That's a good one. You got me stumped this time.
With Tyrannosaurus checks.
Wow, all right, a little wordplay. I like that one. All right, do we have one more maybe?
I have one from Spirit, New York.
Yep.
What does the accountant find hard?
Sorry, what was that? What does the what?
What does the accountant find hard?
I'm not sure.
The accountability.
Very good. Excellent. Well, those are some good ones. All right. Candyland, did we get any other tips or helpful hints on budgeting and getting discounts?
Yeah, from Ducky, California, Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, that's a great one, especially for an electronics product. Very good.
And then from Haley Johnson, free iPhone from Verizon.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. So those are great. I like those. Okay. All right. Let's move on to your final step. This is step 5. And I like this one a lot. It's very near and dear to me. How we give back. So set a goal for how you'll give back. I think this might have been my favorite step, actually. So I want you to think of 3 things that are important to you. For me, it's community and the environment. And for you, it can be whatever you want. You can build off of that, or just 3 things that are important to you. There are websites that list charities, nonprofit organizations, and causes for inspiration. Make sure the charity or the organization is reliable. And check out the tips in the charity checkup box to guide you. That's in the blue box there. And find out what you can do with your money and time to help others and add it into your budget and financial planning and to your values. So as always, we have 3 options to satisfy the requirement for each step, and we're going to explore option 3 this time, get inspired by a professional. So this one's a fun step, and you can complete this one outside, but there are some badge requirements, and your badge requirements read: talk to someone who works at a nonprofit or a service organization, find out how donations help the organization, how fundraising works, and how decisions are made about using money. What is the organization's action plan? And what do they hope to accomplish? So write all the words and phrases you hear during your talk, such as resources, plan, incentives, recruitment, skills, empathy, action, canvassing. Look at an example of a word cloud online. And then, to keep you inspired, create your own with the words and phrases that you heard. Use what you learned to decide and plan for how you or your troop will help your community. So giving back is near and dear to me. In fact, it's been a part of my adult life, well, since I became an adult, and it's part of my budget for decades now. And I have a lot of experience in this area. Just yesterday, I donated 2 labor hours and went and did weed pulling for the East Bay Regional Parks, which is here in the Bay Area, to help with a native plant restoration area. So before you decide to give to a charity, though, or an organization, it's important to do a charity checkup. So before you support your charity or organization, find out if it's reliable, effective, and legitimate. So search for free online sites that analyze the charities and nonprofit organizations and find information like how donations are allocated for administrative services and how much goes directly to the cause. You can also check the charity or organization's website for their annual report or find information about how they meet their goals and measure success. Look for the statement that the organization is a 501c3. It's a very important designation. It means that it's a nonprofit and it's registered with the government. So you can use a site like Charity Navigator or GuideStar to research charities and organizations. So Charity Navigator or GuideStar. Okay. Let's see here. So if you find out that your charity is not a 501c3, find out what they are, like how are they registered? They should be a 501c3, especially if you're going to donate money and if you expect to earn some type of tax credit or tax deduction for what you're contributing. That'll make sense to you in the future. It makes more sense to your parents now. So you want to make sure and really review that. Also look for online reviews. Google or Bing search your charity and just see what comes up and start looking through some of those reviews. Just make sure they're reliable, effective, and legitimate. So, all right. This is, let's see, let's be a good spot to have some questions. So if you have any questions for me, I want to ask you to please send them to Timmy in the chat box, and then she can read them off to me. And while she's compiling them, I'd like to discuss one budgetary item that you may have already started talking to your parents or your safe adult about, and that's college expenses. So one of the co-hosts mentioned this at the beginning. And of course, not everyone goes to college, and that's fine. Some of you will choose an alternate route, a different life path, and whatever path you take is okay and will be right for you at that time. But for folks going on to college or trade school, it doesn't have to be a four-year university. It could be a trade school or a certificate program. Those are expensive and cost money. So you have to plan ahead for that. You can't just wait until that day and try to figure it out on the spot. It's a great time for those of you, I think what grade are you here? You guys are 6th grade through 8th. So it's a good time to start. Some of you have up to 10 years before you have to start paying for your higher education. So it's a good time to start those conversations now. And I have a couple of ideas and some tips for you to even get started early. So if you're in high school or going into high school, one thing is to consider getting into an AP class and finding out if you can earn college credit while you're still in high school, college credit that's transferable to a school that you want to go to. You're saving money because you're getting it while you're in high school, and then you don't have to pay for it when you do get to college. Consider staying local to go to school. A lot of times starting at the junior college and transferring to a four-year university locally in-state, you'll save money by going to in-state versus going out of state and paying out-of-state tuition. It sounds odd, but you could look for a school abroad. There are now some universities outside of the United States that are actually cheaper than some of our own universities. And yes, they do instruction and curriculum in English, so you don't have to worry about that. So it is one thing that's considerable to consider. Sorry, excuse me. Another area to kind of save money is look for alternative housing. The dorm and expenses or a shared apartment may not be the best, most affordable option for you. For example, just recently, the University of California at Santa Cruz got a write-up in the national press about their innovative approach, which was to buy a campground, and they put campers in the spots and then rented each camper to a particular student at an average of around $800 a month versus what the cost would have been to go into student housing or a private shared apartment. A lot of the students interviewed said they loved it because there is this community feeling. They have shared campfires, they do events together, and they also get, even though it's a camper, they get at their own private small space. So they're able to have their own area, their own privacy, and able to work on their studies. So a couple ideas there. How to save. So you can consider things such as certificates of deposit. That's a way of saving some money, and you get a lower return in exchange for the safety. And the same with high yield savings accounts. So if you're just doing cash, those are a couple of options, especially if you are looking to pay for college very soon, like within a year or two. Those are really safe. Check out if you are a military family, and if you've had a fallen soldier or a disabled soldier, you'll want to look for the Survivors Independence Education Assistance Program, or look into the Fry Scholarship to see what's available for you there. Keep saving. Even small amounts are okay. Just put that savings away, but start soon, even if you have to start small. Now, the big one in the room is what's called a 529 plan. The 529 plan has recently been updated, and with recent legislative changes, it's much more beneficial than it ever was. So if you have some additional resources and your family's able to do it, consider opening a 529 plan to save for your future educational needs. The 529 plans are very flexible. If you don't use all of the money in the account after a certain number of years, you can convert that to a Roth IRA so that it can start growing again for your retirement or any future spending that you might need. So that's one benefit. You can change the beneficiary. The beneficiary is the person who's able to use that account. So you can change that up if you need to and name, for example, a brother or sister, or even somebody else in your family. So they're very flexible and it's a good way to do it. Some states offer a state tax credit, others do not. So it's quite a broad program and it's a hugely beneficial way of saving for university and then also using that money at a later stage in life as well. Okay, Timmy, did we have any questions that came in?
Yeah, I have a few from one of them's from Strawberry Ice Cream.
Okay,
They asked,
I like that name, Strawberry Ice Cream.
yeah, they asked how stocks work, but I don't know if we're talking about that in this.
Oh, let's touch on it briefly. So stocks they're representative of a fractional ownership in a company. So if you buy one stock, you have that one piece of ownership in a company. Generally, the companies are publicly traded, but I will say that for budgeting for your future and for investing to save for university or for college or for trade school, I think stocks are a little bit too volatile. It's a little bit too much risk. So you want to look for money that you're going to use in an intermediate goal. You want to put that into something that's a little bit more safe. But stocks are a representation of ownership in a company that you have, and they trade on an exchange and their value changes second to second, honestly. So that's something to consider.
Yeah. And then we have another one from Reese's, Florida. What age can you get a job to start working and make money?
All right, so that depends on your state. So you would want to look at the Florida state law. You might be able to start working in your high school years with consent from your parent and also your local school district. I know here in California, parents have to sign off and the school has to sign off as well. But that depends on each state's labor laws. So take a look at that. If you're not sure where to start, at least ask your guidance counselor at school. They should have some information for you or be able to point you in the right direction. But generally in your teen years, you can start working at certain types of jobs.
We have another one from Squirrel and Firewolf, Ohio.
Okay.
How do pie charts work in the money category?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you say that one again? How do pie charts work?
In the money category.
Oh, so I think if you picture, you remember we talked about $100, so you could divide your pie chart into whatever percentage you want. If you wanted to do your spend, save, share in equal parts, you would roughly assign about 33% to that. So your pie chart, you would just include that, and you'd have a wedge for each spending area. So one for spending, one for saving, and one for sharing. If you do a different allocation, like the 50, 30, 20 that we mentioned, it would be the same. I think that's what you're asking. But...
Yeah, I think that's what they were asking too, yeah.
Okay.
And then CA asked how much college costs.
Wow. So that depends on which college you go to. And again, whether you go to in-state or if you go to out-of-state, tuition is different. I do have a really wonderful college cost calculator from Capital Group, and it is quite detailed. So you actually put in your starting age and you can pick the college that you're going to attend, how much you have saved and how much you plan to save, and it will create for you, sorry, I'm coming right back. It'll create for you the projected cost of that college that's been provided. This is a really long link, so I recommend that you open it and grab it now. So if you can try that, Capital Group will let you know by school name. You can search by school name and find out what those costs are projected to be for your entry year.
And then Cloud asked, how do you find a job? Is it just like you find a sign?
How do you find a job? Is it just like
finding like a sign, like help wanted kind of thing?
Oh, Absolutely. So you can look for signs posted in your community, like the Help Wanted sign, and then you can also jump online with your parent and do a job search for like what's excuse me, what companies are looking to hire in your area. So use your look for those signs, use your online resources, and then also just talk to family and friends. And if you know people who work, ask them. So, are you hiring? Do you have a position available for me? So do that. That's called networking. So you want to network with your friends and your family members and people that you know who are already employed.
Spirit in New York, they asked what the follow-up work was that they have to finish. And I'm pretty sure we're sending out like a list at the end of the
Yes.
meeting. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It was the word cloud after you interview your organizer for your charity or organization that you want to talk to.
Yeah. And then Fried Chicken California asked, being a certified financial planner, is the 5-30-20 the only method you use?
No. So it depends on the family's needs. That is sort of the golden rule of budgeting, is doing 50-30-20. We also look at some other budgeting approaches for them, depending on how much they have coming in and whether or not they need to tackle debt reduction first. So we might have to tweak that formula a little bit. It's considered the golden rule standard, but in the beginning, we might have to tweak that. And it could take a couple of years for them to get turned around to where they can actually use the golden rule. But there are some other approaches out there as well.
That was all the questions that we had.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. This was a great honor to be able to assist you and help you guys get your budget badge today. So I really appreciate that. And as you mentioned, as Timmy mentioned, there will be some information sent out afterward, and I will include my contact information, and I will include some of the tips as well that we went over today. I'll get those to the co-host, and that can be added into the materials going out. So again, the contact information will be there for anybody who wants to schedule some follow-up time about setting up college accounts. And I think it's time to hand it back to Timmy. And again, thank you so much. This was wonderful, and I had a really good time, and I loved all of your names and the money jokes. So Timmy, do you want to take over now?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Greg.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Girl Scout sisters and friends. It's me again, Temmie. Thank you for attending our Girl Scout Cadet Badge Manager event. Who here had a great time? Oh, looks like a lot of you folks had a great time. Give me a thumbs up if you learned a lot today. I know I sure did. Okay, it looks like a lot of you learned a lot today also. Now give me a thumbs up if you feel like you learned something valuable to your future today. It looks like a lot of you did, yippee. Okay, terrific, me too. Today we completed the following steps. Step 1, find out how you budget reflects your values. Step number 2, learn how to track your spending. Step number 3, find ways to earn money for yourself or your troop. Step number 4, explore how to make money decisions. Step number 5, set a goal for how long you'll give back. How you'll give back. Now that you have earned this badge, you'll be able to make informed money decisions that reflect your values and how to track your spending. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us, and congratulations on earning your Cadet Budget Manager badge. You can purchase your badge at your local Girl Scout shop. Also, it's a great time to start thinking about budgeting for college or whatever education you may want or need after college. We will send you Greg's information in our follow-up material. Okay, my Girl Scout sisters, it's time for me to hand you off to my Girl Scout friend and sister, Chupacabra.
Thank you, Temmie. Hello, Girl Scout sisters. It's me again, Chupacabra. Before we leave, we wanted to share a Girl Scout tradition with you. Normally, if we were in person, we would have a friendship circle. We would cross our arms, hold hands, do our friendship hand squeeze, put our foot in the middle of the circle before twirling out of the circle. Since we can't do that, we are going to share a Girl Scout tradition through song. Please unmute yourselves right now so we can sing one final song together. You can unmute now. This song is called Making Friends. Shut up. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready.
I don't think we are. Has an X in there.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Keep the old. One is silver and the other gold.
Thank you all for joining us for Girl Scout Cadet Budget Manager event today. We had a great time with all of you. Farewell, Girl Scout sisters.
Bye.
Bye, ladies. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.